Are you done? I'm waiting on you. Are you done? I got some in my teeth. Zoe, stop licking my arm. Welcome back to my channel. It's Khalia, Iman here. Thank you for tuning in. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a different type of video here on my channel. I'm going to be talking to you guys about the 5 biggest mistakes I made as a postgraduate, or the 5 biggest mistakes that I made that influenced my postgrad life. And so it's going to be a little bit of a different type of video. I know I've been producing mostly hair and beauty related videos, but today is going to be a little bit different. I hope that you enjoy. I hope that you appreciate this video, and leave a comment and let me know what your college experience was like, what your post-grad experience was like, and that way we can chat about it, compare and contrast, honey. Okay? Okay. I am 22, living by myself in the Northern Virginia area. As I said in my Get to Know Me tag video, I will link that above. I grew up in Memphis, Tennessee. I moved from Memphis to upstate New York to go to college, and for a period of time, actually, I moved from upstate New York to California, and then I moved back to upstate New York from California, and after I finished college in upstate, I came down here to Virginia. I am going to be talking about my biggest mistakes that I think that I made, not only in college but as a post-grad, that have not necessarily put me in the best position today, right? So let's jump right on into it, shall we? So I took notes on my phone, so that's why I'm looking down. The first mistake I have here is that during college, I did not have an internship. I know that everybody's college experience looks different. Some people may not have even gone to college. Obviously, this video is primarily geared to those who did. And I know it's graduation season, so that's why I felt like it was a good time to go ahead and drop this video. But during college, I didn't really take advantage of the resources that were offered to me until like the very end. I played myself. Let's call it what it is. I played myself. Corny. A goofball. Goofy. Me. So pretty much I got involved in a research lab, but I didn't get involved in the research lab until my senior year. I didn't really start reaching out to my professors to ask them about different resources that they knew of until like my junior or senior year. So I really feel like having an internship would have made me feel a little bit more grounded, right, for life as a postgraduate, because even if I didn't go into that field, or even if I didn't accept a job opportunity, if it was presented to me, at least I would have had mentorship. I would have had a network of connections. You know, it would have opened a lot more doors for me. And so I kind of had to grind a little harder because I didn't feel as grounded. I didn't have any connections. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I really leaned heavily on one of my mentors from the university I graduated from. She was the lead of the research lab that I was a part of. And so we oftentimes had conversations about career choices and, you know, what I wanted to do within psychology, and what I felt like would be a lucrative business to go into, but I would still get enjoyment from. So she was a really, really great resource. I would definitely tell anybody who's in college right now to reach out to your professors, make a relationship with them, create a relationship. It's so important. They can open up so many doors and just give you advice that you couldn't find on the internet. You know what I mean? So I think it's so important to have a relationship with your professors if you can, and you can, so do it. Go to their office hours, email them, talk to them outside of class, let them get to know you. And so much will come from that. But yes, if I could do it all over again, I would go back and get an internship somewhere doing something just so I can put myself out there and get that experience. So my next mistake that I made as a post-grad was not having realistic expectations. When I was in my senior year, I was so gun-ho about getting a job, finding an apartment. Everything had to be quick. And so after graduation in May of 2018, I was like, I still ain't got no job though. I'm still jobless, you know? And it was not really the best time, because literally I graduated on a Sunday and the following Monday I was here in Virginia. So I was here by myself. My family, you know, helped me move in, but obviously they had to leave. And I was here by myself, applying for jobs day in and day out, staying up to 4 o'clock in the morning, applying for jobs, like really trying and really giving it my all for me to not see any results. And, you know, other people were getting jobs right after graduation. Other people already had things lined up. They were in graduate programs. They had gotten into PhD programs, like doctoral program. I was like, oh my God, I feel like I have to have a job right after I graduate. I needed a job right then. And if I didn't have a job immediately, I felt as though I wasn't good enough. So even now, I'm still struggling with trying to maintain realistic expectations. Not everything is going to go like how I expect for it to go. Not everything is going to go like how I plan for it. And that's okay. You know, things will happen in due time. So I would just say to anybody who is about to graduate or is a recent graduate to just keep in mind that things happen when they're supposed to. Everything is going to work out. I would definitely, if I could rewind back time, just slow down, take a second to breathe, and understand that my self-worth isn't dependent upon how quickly I get a job. So that kind of goes into my next 2 things that I've learned. Because I was so eager to get a job, and because I felt less than because I had not gotten a job, any opportunity that presented itself, I was gravitating towards without necessarily doing all of the proper research, right? So I definitely think that it's important to, when you are presented with a job opportunity, to not settle. And that doesn't necessarily mean anything bad. It's just that you have to know your self-worth, you know what I mean? And I didn't know that. So I was just ready to, oh, you're offering me a job? Great, I don't care. Give it to me, you know? I didn't negotiate. I didn't really do extensive research on the benefits, the PTO package, the holidays. Like, there was so much that I could have, obviously I read over, you know, the things that my employer gave me, but there was so much more that I could have gone more in depth with that I did not, because I just wanted a job. I needed a job. I needed that validation so badly. And so I think that it's super important to know as a post-grad what you bring to the table. That's period. You have got to know what you bring to the table. How are your specific set of skills going to improve this company? How are your specific set of skills going to activate things inside of the company that have not yet been activated, you know? And I know that sometimes it's difficult to hone in on that and completely understand that without working for the job, or without being employed by this particular job. But that also leads me into my next topic, which is you have to do extensive research about the job. So these two go hand in hand, right? Like knowing your self-worth when it comes to a job and doing extensive research about someone who's presenting you a job opportunity. Because they just play off of one another, because you need to know what you're bringing to the table and how what you're bringing to the table is going to improve that company. And you can't know that without doing extensive research. And you need to know what the company is going to be able to offer you. That's going to be different than company ABC. You have company D over here that's like, oh no, we want you. Well, how are you different than these other job offers I have? Or how are you different than the job that I applied to last week? You know, I want to know, just like you want to know as an employer what sets me apart as your candidate. As an employee, I also want to know what sets you apart as an employer. And I think that's super important to not necessarily get cocky, but just know what you're bringing to the table. If I have a specific set of skills that's going to give me a different perspective, and it's going to, not only am I going to do my job, but I'm going to kind of elevate other parts of the job as well, then you as my employer need to know that, and I need to be compensated as such. Like I said, it's super important to know what you're bringing to the table, know what your employer is bringing to the table, and how you guys can best benefit one another. I think that oftentimes people get so caught up on how much they're being paid, or things that to an extent are superficial, that they don't really do the research and see if it's a good fit. Just like when you're applying for school as a graduate, you know, or you're doing research, or, you know, going into a doctoral program, you want to be sure that, I just had Panera, so you want to be sure that your research interests line up with the faculty's research interests, so that it will be a good fit. When you are applying to a job, you want to be sure that your interests as an employee line up with the interests of the employer. What do you mean, Khalia? Okay, what about the culture? What do you guys do to promote women's involvement? What do you guys do to promote people of color's involvement? What exactly are your demographics looking like? You know what I mean? Do you have a sprinkle of a few people of color here and there, or are you extremely inclusive? These are things that are important as you as an employee want to feel represented, you want to feel included, you want to feel like the company that you're working for sees you as a human being and not just a number. Those two things, super important. I cannot stress it enough. And my last topic here is probably the most important thing or one of the most important things that I've just learned in life overall, and that is just learning how to relish in the moment. I am to this day still trying to get this through my own head, and I can say it, but it's hard to implement it. You have to take time to recognize your accomplishments. Like I was saying earlier, I was so concerned about like getting a job and finding an apartment and feeling like I had a purpose, that it was honestly like consuming me, and I was becoming kind of obsessive about it, trying to make sure that my life as a post-grad served a purpose, and trying to make sure that I was settled and grounded. But I was focusing too much on the next step, that I wasn't taking enough time to focus on what I was going through right at that moment. So I was juggling 20,000 different things, and it was taking away from the fact that I was graduating college. You know, and it's something that's just that simple that you don't even realize. Like, I haven't even taken the time to acknowledge the fact that this is a huge accomplishment, because I'm so worried about what my next step is going to be. I'm so worried about what my next move is, that I can't even relish in this moment and pat myself on the back and feel good about myself for a minute without thinking about, oh, well, there's so much that you're not doing. You know, that's kind of how I feel, which is not fair to myself, but that plays into me constantly feeling like I have to be on the move, constantly feeling like, well, this is not enough, so what's the next thing I have to do? You know what I mean? And so I think that it is super, I want to really make sure y'all get this. Super, very important. Super important that you acknowledge your accomplishments. Please do that, Khalia. So I'm talking to myself too, not just y'all. Please acknowledge your accomplishments. You need to acknowledge your accomplishments. When was the last time you sat down and said, I'm proud of myself? I'll wait. Okay then, so let's take this time to do that. I was having a conversation with my dad earlier this year, and we were talking about New Year's resolutions, which he doesn't call them resolutions. He calls them he calls them focuses, sorry. And so we were talking about writing down your focuses and making them specific and making them actually attainable, and knowing that even if you don't accomplish them like how you intended to, that you're still, it's okay, and that got me thinking that yes, it's important to write down your focuses, your goals, your resolutions, whatever you want to call them, but it's also super important to acknowledge what you've accomplished. So I literally have a journal, and I've written down my focuses for 2019, but I've also written down my 2018 accomplishments, because on those days where I just feel like I haven't done anything with my life, and I just feel like I serve no purpose, and that I'm just kind of here just going with the flow, I can open that book and look and see all, like, the whole list of things that I've accomplished. It really makes a difference when you can see everything written down on paper. If you accomplish something and you feel good about it, you should write it down. The small things, the big things, graduating college, making a 3.5, finishing a book in a week, eating clean, whatever it may be, you should write it down. Just so that you can feel like, okay, I've done something, It helps to have things written down that you can go back and refer to and be like, I'm still her. Just keep in mind that you are worth everything and some. Keep in mind that your path is not going to be the same as anybody else's path. And take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to you. Network, communicate, reach out to those who have a duty to you, at the end of the day, and pick their brains and see what they know and see who they know and see if they can set you up to be better. Do as much as you can. So that's all. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.